On Friday, it was announced that David Ayer's upcoming Suicide Squad movie for Warner Brothers and DC might be actually looking to cast the newest Joker for the upcoming DC franchise. And the candidate that they're looking at is Jared Leto. Now, Jared Leto, he just won Best Supporting Actor in the Oscars last year for his role in Dallas Buyers Club. And he might not have been people's first choice as a casting for the new Joker to try to, you know, leave a new impression on people who are fans of the character after what Heath Ledger did back in The Dark Knight. He might not have been the first choice, but after giving it some thought, I really started to think of how smart this casting could possibly be, if it turns out to be true. Mind you, it's just a rumor right now. But to have someone like Jared Leto, who is so dedicated to the roles that he puts himself into, and he takes the time out to play and to really consume himself in it. You know, you saw his performance in Dallas Buyers Club where he just completely redefines who he is in order to play a role for a movie. You know, that's what Heath Ledger did for the Joker. He became this very scary, very demented, human, almost not even a human being that was able to, captivate audiences and leave a lasting impression. And so much so that, now when they go to cast the new Joker, a lot of people have several reservations as to whether or not a new actor is worthy of playing the Joker and worthy of taking the mantle from Heath Ledger. And it's kind of ironic because a lot of people, back when The Dark Knight was first casting its cast members, Heath Ledger was hated for being casted. A lot of people had no faith in him. A lot of people were upset about the casting and said that somebody much better and much more qualified, should have been casted for this role to play opposite The Dark Knight. And then once The Dark Knight came out in 2008, a lot of people, like 95% of people, changed their mind and started jumping on this bandwagon that Heath Ledger will never be replaced, even though he passed away and unfortunately, we never got to see him again on film as the Joker. But a lot of people have gotten so quick to judge who they cast now, and I just find that ironic because they were the same way before Heath Ledger showed us his performance, and they're doing the same thing again. And I honestly think that Jared Leto, if you're going to cast anybody, it's a very smart move to make. He's a really committed actor who loves what he does. He knows not to oversaturate himself in the movie industry. You see he'll take several breaks from doing his movies to hopping back into his band 30 Seconds to Mars. So you don't really get to see too much of him, but when you do, it's usually something really special. Another problem people have told me so far is, Jared Leto, isn't he kind of young to play the Joker? Well, Heath Ledger was, in his late 20s, early 30s when he played him, and a lot of people don't realize it, but Jared Leto is actually 42 years old. I mean, he has a baby face, but he's actually 42 years old. He's the same age as Ben Affleck. So to be playing opposite him, they're the same exact age, and will be when the movies come out. And it's the same thing as Henry Cavill and Jesse Eisenberg. People were wondering, why is Henry Cavill playing opposite this really young Lex Luthor? But people don't realize, just because Jesse Eisenberg looks like he's in his early 20s, that they're actually both 31 years old. So it's really interesting how many reservations people can have against casting without doing their research and thinking logically for a second on how much of an impact a possible casting announcement could have on future movies. Now, again, this is all rumor. This is all, none of this has been confirmed. But I do think that it's a very smart, idea for a casting rumor. And if DC and Warner Brothers are looking towards Leto to fill this role, I think we could see something special. And I don't think you have to compare or beat or best Heath Ledger's performance. You just have to give a dedicated a new role that people can look up to and be entertained by. And let's face it, if Jared Leto becomes the Joker in Suicide Squad in 2016, that's the Joker we're going to be seeing, with a 5 or 6 picture movie deal. We'll see him opposite Ben Affleck in the upcoming Batman solo movies or any other DC movies that they decide to throw him in. And I just think that, if there's a lot of potential candidates out there. I know that the report about Jared Leto said that Ryan Gosling was actually asked to play the Joker, but he turned it down. So you never really know sometimes when studios go out and search for actors to fill these character roles. But it's also surprising how a lot of the time these choices that they end up with and they fall on are actually very smart and you didn't even see it coming. So I guess we'll see, but for me, I buy that Jared Leto could be our next Joker opposite Batman.